Good day. How is this Sunday for everyone? Hello, Sister Jeannie, Maria, and CJ, and all those who are watching on this Good Sunday. It's a little overcast here, but it's fine. We're going to continue to talk about, it's May 5th, 2024. We're going to continue about St. John of the Cross, that Spanish mystic and doctor of the Catholic Church, and what he spoke of in the Night of the Soul. And let's get right to it. And we're picking up quite a few new subscribers. Thank you very much for listening. And if you're curious about what we do and why we do it the way we do it, I suggest that you go into the information right below the video in the box there, and it has the link to ourladyisgod.com, where you can ask any kind of question there, or you can contact me, etc. There's always those who just come across it because YouTube puts the suggestion in their feed, and they're quite upset with what we're doing. And those are the ones who are looking more to not for their salvation and their divine union with the Trinitarian Theophany, but more about how they can fit in, and whether or not that's okay what we're doing. And the thing here is, like, St. John of the Cross was ostracized for what he was trying to do by the church itself, by the hierarchy, and those he was supposedly under obedience to. And there is such a thing as false obedience. So we have to be very careful that we first obey the Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, before any man or authority of man. And again, obedience in things that you have taken an oath to do, or obedience in your role and in your status. Those are things, you have to discern. So, again, welcome. And one of the reasons why we are here at a home chapel is because we're so new. We have no real organizational setup and funding to provide churches. We have one in the works that we're trying to get a monastery built so that we can grow a little bit. But for now, this is what we are. We're the underground, above ground light, if you will, that is trying to correct all the errors, in the sense that we bring them to light and then make the adjustments, again, through discernment, through many people, and through conviction, and the Rosary 150. So let's begin with morning prayers, and you can certainly say your morning prayers and your Rosary 150 during this Mass. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Trinitarian Theophany and humbly adore, in Catholic contemplation, the Divine Family. most holy and venerable Trinity, one divine family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility, and I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O Trinitarian Theophany, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank God, the Trinitarian Theophany, for the many graces that we receive and offer ourselves in our sufferings up to the divine family. O Trinitarian Theophany, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good, and let us beg of God the graces which are necessary to us. O Trinitarian Theophany, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, O Trinitarian Theophany, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Deum Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O Trinitarian Theophany, most holy divine family, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. But most of all, because they offend thee, O most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. So we entered now into the second night of the soul, of the dark night of the soul. Book the second, wherein discourse is made of the most secret purgation, which is the second night of the soul, wherein it is begun to discourse of the second night of the soul. The time of its commencement is stated. Not at once upon issuing from the aridnesses and conflicts of the first purgation and night of the sense, doth the Trinitarian Theophany place the soul that God intends to lead higher in the union of love. Rather, as a rule, long periods and years intervene, during which the soul, having issued forth from the initial stages proper to beginners, is practiced by the divine family in those of the advanced in the union of love, wherein, like one who hath escaped from a narrow prison, she proceeds with far greater freedom and interior satisfaction in the things of the Trinitarian Theophany, and receives more abundant and interior delight than she did at first, before she entered into this said night. The imagination and faculties being no longer, as before, fastened down to the disquisitions of meditation and mental effort. For soon, with the utmost ease, she finds a most serene and loving contemplation and soulful savor, free from all intellectual labor. Although, as the purgation of the soul is not yet thoroughly accomplished, For the chief part is still missing, which is the purgation of the intellect, without which, by reason of the communication that exists between the one part and the other, seeing that from they form one subject, pardon me, neither is the sensitive purgation, however searching it may have been, so perfected and finished as to be entirely free from certain aridnesses and darknesses and conflicts, at times more intense than those she previously experienced, which are, as it were, the presages and heralds of the approaching night of the soul, although these are not lasting, as shall be the night that awaits her. For having endured an interval or intervals or days of this night or tempest, she again returns to her accustomed serenity, and after this fashion doth the Trinitarian Theophany proceed to purge certain souls which are not destined to aspire to so lofty a degree of love as others, by plunging them for a space and intermittently into this night of contemplation or soulful purgation, making the shadows of night to darken over them, or bringing them forth into the light of dawn alternately. Although these morsels of dark contemplation are never so intense as is the darkness of this fearsome night of contemplation we are about to speak of, wherein the Trinitarian Theophany plunges the soul of set purpose to guide her to the divine union. This savor, then, and interior delight we speak of, which those who are advanced find and enjoy with abundance and ease within their soul, is imparted to them far more abundantly than before, overflowing thence into the senses more than it did before the sensible purgation. Since, forasmuch as the soul is now purer, it can taste the delights of the soul with greater ease and after its own fashion. And as, in short, this sensitive part of the soul is weak and incapable of the strong things of the soul, hence it is that these progressives, by reason of this soulful communication, which takes place with the sensitive part, suffer from great weakness, debility, and fatigue of stomach, and consequently fatigue of mind. For as the wise man says, corpus enim quod corrumpitur aggravit animam, the corrupt body oppresses the soul. Hence it is that the communications bestowed on these can neither be very strong nor rigidly intense, nor very soulful, as they must of necessity be for the divine union with the Trinitarian Theophany, by reason of the weakness and corruption of the sensuality which shares therein. And hence arise ecstasies and transports and dislocations of the bones, which always happen when the communications are not absolutely soulful, that is, to the soul only, as are those bestowed on the perfected, who have been at length purified in the second night of the soul, in whom these ecstasies and bodily torments now cease, allowing them to rejoice in freedom of soul, free from all clouding over or transport of the sense. And in order to shew the necessities such as these are under to enter into this night of the soul, we shall now point out some imperfections and dangers which these progressives incur, which we will point out beginning tomorrow. For those who decide to join in on that road and that night of the soul, it begins with practicing the virtues, and number one being humility. So I do recommend, and I know that the Trinitarian Theophany sends those souls to us here who are sincere and really looking for that deeper soulful freedom of soul. One quick thing, they use the word liberty in the book, and liberty from what I understand liberty to mean versus freedom, liberty is the ability to choose whatever you want, whether it be right or wrong. And freedom is the ability to choose good, which is the Trinitarian Theophany. So when in those cases, I like to use the word freedom. It just makes things clearer. All right, let's begin with and have Mass. Sit down, Deum vobiscum et quoque apotei. Oremus. O Trinitarian Theophany, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired. Who livest and reignest with thee, one Trinitarian Theophany, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum Honcam Accalatum Hostium, quam ego indinius famulos tuus offeritibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro unim individibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sere pro omnibus fidelibus, catalocorum vivis aquae defunctis ut mihi et idis proficietat salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitatem miribiditu condidisi et miribidus reformaste de nobis, perihus sacra venimistimum, eis divinitatis esse consortes qui eminitatis nostrae, fiat notis est particips Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivet et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum, Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem, saetaris tuum depecantis clementiam, ut in aspecto divinae majestatis tuae, pro nostra totius mundi salute, cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito suscipiamur te Deum Iesum Christum, et sic fiat sacrificium nostrum, in conspecto tu hodie, ut placiat tibi Deum maternam nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctifici de blata prosequendo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomini preparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas, hoc oblationem cum tibi afferimus, ab amorem passiones, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honorem Deum maternam nostrae et Papa Peter Sanctorum, et istorum et omnem Sanctorum ut idis proficiat ad honorem, nobis autem et salutem et idi pro nobis intercedere dinter in celis, quorum amorem agimus in tedis per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate ut mem ec vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat ab Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipia Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudem et gloriam nomini sui ad utilitatem quoque nostrum totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, quoque apotei, sursum corda, habemus ad Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Dei et hoc lamentissimi mater et pater, Deum maternam nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrae, supplices, rogamus ac petimus. Uti accepta habeas, et sanctificas, hic sanctam sacrificium ilibata. imprimis que tibi ferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam quam pacificare custodiri adonare et regere dignidis tot obiterarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorum cotuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We pray for Mindy, Katie, Gage, Maria Josephina Mose, Mark Jr., Casey, Henry and Barbara and Benedict Santa Croce, Malachi Santa Croce, Mr. Nobody, Ann Botink, Alessio Tafur, the Cantu and the Duarte families, Maria and the Lineweber family, John K. Hill, the Dasco, Nye, Tafur, and Began families, Todd Wolf, and all the Wolf family. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantes Catholic Council office at Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse, ritual abuse, and any kind of human trafficking of anywhere, any place, or time. We pray for the elimination of all allowed lying in the justice system, beginning with the police. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, and medium of exchange, with no usury, and a Catholic justice system where the police are not allowed to lie. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society and tell the truth. We ask for a reversal of the feminist ideology and a return to godly femininity. That quote-unquote gay marriage be banned. That all pornography and the OnlyFans platform be stopped immediately. That husbands provide as best they can so that women cease working for Freemasons and corporations. That the Catholic monarchy set up a monetary system that values labor. And inflation would be made illegal as usury would be. We ask Deum Matronam Nostra et Deum Isum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum to destroy the satanic document of Vatican law that is the Jewish Talmud. We ask you to destroy Rome and the Vatican and transfer the authority of the Catholic Church to Fatima, Portugal. We ask you to release the souls controlled by the demon Lilith and Asmodeus and send both of those demons back to hell. And any demons that have come through any portals that were opened. We also ask you to block the passage of any so-called pandemic treaty by the WHO, which again is based on lies and aimed at removing the divine family's children's freedom to move and travel. We ask you to please save or transfer the souls from under the dominion of any Jew or Freemason that gives support to Israel. And we thank you for the lies that are being exposed, that is perpetrated by the corrupt condition of this world, which is mainly controlled by Israel and the Jews. All these things we ask in accordance with the Trinitarian Theophany's holy and divine will. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognita est nota devotio, pro quibus tibi ferimus, vel qui tibi offerent hoc sacrificium laudis, pro se suisque omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum pro spe salutis et equalamitatis suae. tibi quid vedunt volta sua, aeterno Deum vivo et vero. Communicantes et momone venerantes in primis gloriose, semper Deum Patram nostre, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Beatorum martyrium tuorum Papa Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum, quorum meditis praetibus concedas, ut in omnibus protectionis tuae munium ad exilio, pediendum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem te Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus, consecratum acceptabulum perfecedi dinedis ut nobis corpum, et sanguinem fiat dedictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum. Qui pridie quam patroretor accepet panem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas. Et derivatis oculis in caelum ate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens. Consecravit, fregit dique lunis udicens accipite, et mandocate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meo. Simile modo postquam ceremonias accipiens et hunc preclarum calicem in sancta sacramentablis manus suas, item tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecravit dique luminis vidicens accipite et vivite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur, in remissionem peccatorum, et quatescum perfectidis me mono facietis. Unde et memores Deum nos servitui, sed plebs tua sancta iustum Christum filium tuum, Deum nostre, tambe et passionis nec non et benfidis resurrectionis, sed et in celos gloriose scientiamus affedimus preclare majestatitudi tuis donis actatis, subraque propitio oxare novultur respiceri digneris. Subites terreamos Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ibi hic perferibim manus tuum, ut quod, ex hoc autoris participationis sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem subsinimus, omni sanctificatione celestia gratia Dei per amor pediendum Christum Deum nostre. We pray for those who have died, and we especially pray for Mary Andres, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibum in Christum crescentibum locum refugidi lucis et pacis ut oda gesta pacamur, pediendum Christum Deum nostrum. Perquem hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivificas, consecratis et prestas nobis. Per ipsum, et cum ipso, et in ipso, est tibi Deum Matrum omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Deum, matronum nostrae, gratia plena, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Deum matronum nostrae, materam Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos, quae sumus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, ab omnibus malis, praeteritis presentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata et gloriosa semper Deum matronam nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitiis pacem in Deibus nostris. Utopi misericordiae tue aduiti te peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omnia perturbatione securi. Perdiendum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum, filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum, Iesum Christum, sit semper vobiscum, et quoque potei. Ecum extio a consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum, fiat recipientibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque potei. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, quaperante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuum unum vivificasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum abodumus iniquitatibus meis, et universis malis, et fac me tui semper inherare mandatis, et a te nunquam separare permittas, qui cum eo Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego in inius sumere presumo non mihi proveniat in editium, et condemnationem. Sed pro tui pietate prosit mihi tutum in medici corporis, et ad me delam percipiendam. Qui vivis et regnas, cum Deum matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. In panem celestem accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrae non sundinius, ut intercede tu meis in tanta verba sabaranam mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sundinius, ut intercede tu meis, sed tanta verba sabaranam mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sundinius, ut intercede tu meis in tanta verba sabaranam mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Quid retrubum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quaeritur mihi, calicem salutaris accipiem in nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis meis avocero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. Codoris Samsimus Deum, Iesum Christum puramente capiamus et immunum et tempori fit nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quod sumpsi et sanguis quem potave hereribus meis presta, ut in me non remeniat scela la macula quem purat sancta revigione sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei. Oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee. O Trinitarian Theophany, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one God, divine family, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apotei, ite mis est. Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequium et servitutis mei presta ut sacrificium corocolis, tue majestatis in nos obteri tibi setratabre mique omnibus. Pro quibus idut obtolis ite miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O Trinitarian Theophany, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and the immaculate heart of Deum Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. So I keep forgetting to show you the progress of the of the little chicks and the ducks. Are you finished? It's all right. I just wanted to show you how big they got in such a short period of time. And I can't remember. I think it was Denise who was happy that I showed you them when they were little. So they're still in the house, and we're going to bring them over to you. And I hope you have a great day. And um, and no apologies on being late too. That's quite all right. I'm lucky I can pull this off like I do. And I don't know if you can hear them, but they're squealing away. Let's see. I'll be right back. I'm going to take one. Okay. All right. So here's one of the baby chicks that is no longer a chick anymore. It's she wants to get out. Okay. So that's one of the chicks. Now you're going to have to hold the duck so we don't have to change. All right. Just hold it up if you can. And that's how big the ducks got already. And they make great eggs. And hopefully...
It's almost quacking. It's getting closer to quacking. All right.
All right. So there you have it. They're going to go out soon. The weather's getting good. And they'll be happy to get into the pond. Oh, and there's all their feathers floating around. There's one. All right. Well, please go and have a great day, everyone. And say your Rosary 150 for the intentions that we mention at Mass, as well as your own personal ones. And we're gaining traction on, exposing the satanic aspect of so many things in the world. It's just absolutely incredible how dark and evil things are out there. That's why it's so important that family and use the divine family as your leader and your someone, an institution that needs to be assimilated and assimilated in your own life and value it. Okay, it is it is what the Trinitarian Theophany wishes, is that family be strengthened. And again, they're not all going to be perfect, okay? But stick together, okay, and pray, and you'll get somewhere in peace inside. Okay, you may not be successful the way the world thinks that you should be, because really, when you think about it, if you become successful like the world, then you're only putting, unfair dollars in Satan's hands. So it's much easier to be, well, it's not easier, but it's much more important to be good. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Please go and sanctify all those who you meet, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.